We'll have some more details about that on Facebook. Just look up Perfect Entertainment, or we do have a group out there called Perfect Entertainment Information and Schedules, and we'll have all the details there. Now, everybody's been asking about our... It's been a couple of years since we've done a karaoke competition. We're thinking of doing one for next year. It's...
Where?
We don't know yet.
Oh.
We're thinking of maybe doing it at all our bars. There's certain things that are also in development. We're trying to put those... In other words, there's other bars that are interested into this. So we're thinking of doing auditions and tryouts and doing the finale somewhere. We're trying to figure all of that stuff out. So all I can tell you is just stay on our Perfect Entertainment website and Facebook. You'll find all the details there.
We're working on getting the money.
Yeah, money and sponsorship. So here's something that's been interesting, and it's been a hot topic here in New Hampshire as well. So I'm going to throw this out to you guys. There are more dead squirrels usually along the New Hampshire roads lately. Fish and Game here in New Hampshire found out firsthand when they decided to be extra observant as they started to look at things on Interstate 89, 93, and Route 3. They said that they've had 76 splats of dead squirrels on the road, and they're still counting until this day. The official, what's his name, wildlife biologist Robert Calvert says it's been pretty amazing. The Department of Transportation officials said that more than 100 squirrels have been struck recently on the Spalding Turnpike in Rochester alone. Squirrels have been killed in large numbers on the Everett Turnpike, as I previously mentioned, I-93, 293, circling the area of Manchester as well.
I already know the answer to why this is happening.
The reasons and theories for this are numerous. They started more than a year ago when the state had bumper crops of acorns and pines cones in the year 2017, last year. Biologists said that the booming acorn harvest led to more young squirrels surviving New Hampshire's last winter. And now these furry creatures have become more obsessed in their hunt for food than they can store away for the next cold snap. They are also saying that this winter is going to be terrible, so this is the other reason why these squirrels have been popping up a lot more.
One of those the bump crop happens 2 out of every 10 years.
Acorn crops tend to be highly variable, with huge amount of acorns some years and very few in others. Studies show that the bumper crop years, which occur average 2 out of the 10 years, there can be more than 250 acorns per acre, especially the upcoming year. That turns into more 5 acorns per square foot. Poor years, there's usually only like 20 to 65,000 acorns, but not this year. Fish and game experts have also noticed squirrels are so numerous that they're snacking on food that they never were interested in before. All right, so Aaron, you were a vet at one lifetime or another. So you want to tell us what the fuck is going on with these things?
All right. So what happened was, in layman's terms, last year there was a ton of babies born. There was a ton of acorns to feed them, so they managed to make it through the winter, where normally they would just die off. An average mother usually has about 4 babies, 2 to 4 babies. So, by the end of winter, you might get out of those 4 babies, you might have 2 that survive or 1 that survives. Well, because they had so many acorns and they were able to feed the babies, pretty much, hardly any of them died. So there's an overabundance now of these squirrels that don't have food now. So they've got to look for it.
That ain't the right answer.
Oh, so Mike,
They're protesting Nike. They are. I'm telling you.
Just yesterday, actually, I said it to him. So I was going down Route 3 towards Manchester, and I got off exit 8, and as you come around that bend, there had to have been like 30 of them. It looked like somebody took a box of dead squirrels that they picked up off the highway and just dumped them in one spot.
Well, I'm a professional driver, and I haven't killed one yet. Almost did the other day going to work. Scared the living shit out of me. And I went by him, and I go, Jesus, let me think the rear tire hit him, and luckily he scattered off the way. But Yeah. See, driving all day.
Was it Chip or Dale?
It was both of them. Definitely
They're
driving all
chipmunks.
day. I see them all the time. I think they said it was like a dry summer, so they really don't have anything to snack on. So they're trying to find means to go
now with
other places.
This increase of squirrel world, whatever you want to call it, they're also saying that there is some belief that these squirrels may be carrying diseases as well. So
they are susceptible to E. coli, I believe it is,
and the West Nile virus.
And the West Nile, yeah.
But everything else. For the first time in 6 years, Manchester began spraying for West Nile virus. As a matter of fact, this week, health officials have confirmed 9 batches of mosquitoes with it.
But I mean, you wouldn't necessarily see them on the highway. I mean,
well, that's all right. Every time a mosquito bites me, I go, "You get that bit of snap." See ya.
how's that sugar level?
Have you guys noticed that the Chinese food tastes like squirrel lately?
I'm just curious. There we go.
What? No, I'm sorry.
How would you even know what squirrel tastes like?
Tastes like chicken.
Tastes like chicken.
No, sorry. That was bad of mine. But anyway,
Yeah. Stir-fried squirrel. Nasty.
Beef jerky. Chipmunks. Oh, sorry. Let me try that again. Chipmunks roasting on an open fire.
Well, aren't chipmunks and squirrels two different people?
Yes,
They are.
Oh, they are?
they are.
Okay.
Are they from the same family or anything? No?
Yes, but they're two different species.
They're more tasty?
Why are you sleeping? You look like you're sleeping over there.
I'm bored with this fucking story. I mean, honestly, I mean,
Let's talk about the Pats.
I get
You're the
that-
motherfucker that we're killing the squirrels on
get
the
that
highway,
it's-
weren't you?
I get that it's undeniable there are more dead squirrels on the road. Like, I've had this conversation ad nauseum with people. But, I mean, I honestly look at it like, who gives a fuck, dude? They're rats with giant tails. Like, I steer towards them now. I mean, I didn't used to.
You just offended a lot of people.
Yeah,
right there.
well, fuck 'em. I hope I did. Because that's usually what I'm shooting for. Fuck
you, Craig.
Back in the old days, thank you.
I'm
Back in
the
old
person
days,
that like slams her brakes on.
Yeah, back
She
in the
sees
old
one,
days,
like,
I
You'll
would
take
try-
out 6 cars to save a
Yeah,
squirrel.
damn
Yes,
straight.
I will.
Shut your hole.
Back in the old days, I would try to avoid a squirrel. Now, I feel like I'm a part of the populace where I'm just like steering towards them. I'm doing my part.
Yeah, it was one of them.
It's
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
purge.
Yeah, exactly.
We're on the squirrel
Who gives a
purge.
fuck, dude. Yeah, you want to know why there's so many dead fucking squirrels and like on the. You know what's funny though on this particular topic? When I bombed down here to try to get here on time, exit 7W or E, I think it's 7E, the one that takes you downtown. It's E, right? W is the first one. Okay.
Yep.
I said exit 7E. It's like what you were talking about, Aaron, where it looks like somebody just dumped a dead box, like a box of dead squirrels.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, like, yeah, fuck them, dude. They're squirrels, dude. Who gives a shit? For Christ's sake. They're fine.
Don't we go through a period of time where we see like a lot of dead pigeons at one time, or a lot of dead fish, or what?
See, I see a bunch of dead birds. That actually makes me nervous because avian flu is a real thing.
That's
a real
a
fucking
concern.
thing. So that actually makes me nervous. But dead squirrels, it's like, fuck them.
Yeah.
Fuck them, dude. I just don't want them hitting my
What if
tire and
squirrels
then
could
throwing
cure
up
cancer?
in my wheel well. Well, then somebody better fucking figured that shit out already because, you know what I mean?
Well, actually, I just inherited a chair that cures cancer.
Did you really?
I did. So if
A
you
chair that cures cancer?
I do. I have a
Sick,
chair
dude.
that cures cancer.
You should sell that shit on eBay for $1
Ooh,
billion.
I ain't selling it because I don't want cancer.
Well, I hear you do, but you
I'm
make
hoping
do
it
you want-
cures
do you want-
diabetes.
Do you want $1 billion?
So 2 weeks. Here was another story that we reported on 2 weeks ago, which was Hampton Beach. If you guys remember Legionnaire's disease.
Yeah.
Well,
interesting,
come to find
interesting
out-
development on that story.
Interesting development.
Yeah.
So, as a matter of fact, 2 Massachusetts residents is suing a resort in Hampton Beach, Sands Resorts.
Yeah.
I guess this outbreak is continuing. I guess
Remember,
there's
we
a
were
lot
trying
more
to
people.
we were trying to figure out how the fuck Legionnaires, like, how is it specific to, like, because the notion it seemed like at the time was that the shit was coming in off the ocean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how is it so specific? You know,
Why do
like,
they call Legionnaires when it's flu-like symptoms? If it's flu-like symptoms, you have the flu, right?
Well,
Is that-
it's a specific
It's a-
strain.
yeah.
It's like the bacterial form of pneumonia.
Right.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, so it wasn't just this sort of random thing
Well,
that happened, like the water washed up and people got Legionnaires.
The thing that gave it away was that when they had it narrowed down to a, certain address, between this street and this street.
Right.
And it's
And then with the investigation continues.
Epidemiologists are going to be able to identify that shit.
Excuse
That's
me, what the
they
hell
do.
did you just say?
Epidemiologists. Sorry.
Epidemiologist.
I know
Sorry,
that
folks. He's using big words again.
Sometimes I use words that really confuse people. I've been told this
just
before. Yeah. So my apologies that I use appropriate words that are specific.
I'm
to
going
what
to try to
fuck
spell
we're
that on my
talking
walk
about.
ride home.
2 Massachusetts women are taking legal action if they say that they contracted Legionnaire's disease when they visited a Hampton resort. According to court documents, Lewis Pear of Gardner, Massachusetts, and Celeste Billington of Templeton, Massachusetts, were diagnosed with Legionnaire's disease after spending 2 nights and 3 days in a specific unit at the Sands Resort. The owners of that unit and pool and spa company are named in that lawsuit, in addition to the resort's management company and trustees. The 2 women are seeking damages to cover medical expenses.
So, what they're suing the owners. They're suing the spa company. So, in other words, they don't know where the fuck they got it still.
It's a possibility.
So they're just going to sue everybody that has anything to do with any water in there.
Well, here's more to the story here. One of them ended up being hospitalized for very sick flu-like symptoms, and is still dealing with some of the symptoms after the incident. According to the lawsuit, the women stayed at the Stands in early August, which was within the window of time stated by the health officials. There are currently 15 patients diagnosed with the disease, and is still an ongoing issue. One of the people have died from this. Sands Resort is complying with an order from the Department of Health and Human Services, which began immediate remediation of the facility's water system. In an earlier statement released before the lawsuit was filed, resort owners said that the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention only connected 9 patients to their property, and that the test results are at several other hotels have not come back yet. Sands and the Harris Sea Ranch shut their hot tubs down after a policy from the CDC.
Could you imagine? Like you
So
just
basically, they didn't clean their shit right.
No, well,
could you imagine you drop like $200 or whatever on a room? You get some fucking room that's like right on the beach, which incidentally I was real close to doing not that long ago. So you drop like $200 on a room that overlooks the ocean. You're specifically like getting that room because they've got all these amenities or whatever else, and then you discover like, oh hey, listen, by the way, we had to close our hot tubs down, or we had to whatever because there's possible Legionnaire's disease. I'd be like, all
We're
right,
out of here.
yeah.
I want my money back.
Yeah, exactly, man. I mean, and this is literally like I was at Hampton and whatever, Fool, and I was on the verge of doing something like that. Like, what? God, that sucks.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, they would have.
Sucks.
They would. I would assume that they would have to release that information to you. That there's been cases,
You would think. Right.
You would think.
of
Right.
the Legion's Air that is connected with them.
Right.
Now, what was that word you used?
Epidemiologist?
Well, Val just sent us the spelling and the
definition
of that word.
What is the definition of an epidemiologist?
All right,
Mike?
here we go.
Just in case people think I pull big words out of my ass because I just like big words out of my ass. What
It's
is the
a
definition?
noun. It's a person who studies or is an expert in the branch of medicine which deals with the incidence, disruption, and possible control of diseases, which Val is, because she is like a rocket scientist
There we go.
when it comes to the medical field. And
So epidemiologist was the proper word.
she is. And
Right,
now I
thank
know
you.
how to spell it, and
you.
we're good. Thank you, Val.
If you don't understand this yet, but Craig is the catalyst of articulation
All right, Val, I'm going to
and
need catalyst on
extemporaneous
the next one. Catalyst.
speeches
Yes.
when it comes to things like that.
I actually have a pretty broad vocabulary. And if anyone's got a problem with it, they can fucking blow me.
I know that word.
Yeah. I tried to simplify.
Is that a noun?
Fuck or blow me.
That's
tried-
a noun
I
or
tried
a verb.
I tried to simplify that statement. Literally boil it down to its simplest form. If you got
Fuck,
a problem,
blow, or me.
if you got a problem
Which
with me
word?
using big words, fuck or blow me. Exactly.
Okay, so I don't think this is the real Michael Moore. This might be a fake message here. We have a question here, and they want us to debate it. So
Okay.
here it is.
There's a lot of people out there
Should-
probably named Michael Moore, for the record. but
Yeah,
go on.
they're correct.
It's probably not the director.
Well, it's coincidental here.
Okay, what's Mike got to say?
Should September 11th become a national holiday?
This has been a hotly debated topic already. This is people have talked about this before.
What should be a holiday?
Should
Should
September
9/11
11th be a
There's
national
no
holiday?
question. 9/11.